Hi guys. I had some people ask me because I posted this picture to Tumblr of the new Chibi Usa design that's coming for the 2020 Eternal movie, and I had posted that they'd finally fixed her design, and I had one or two people ask me why I said that. Like, what they asked is what is wrong with the first two designs, and I mean I could just reply in text, but I think it's easier if I just show it visually. So I'm just doing this impromptu. I'm not wearing headphones or anything because I don't want to make a big production out of it. But anyway, so the big thing about the previous two designs is it's mainly the proportions and the face of season one. But people have spoken about the face of season one Chibi Usa for a very long time, just how unappealing it is. I feel I should point out that when she first shows up in season two, like when she's got this design here, which is the first one here, she's more or less supposed to look like she's 6 years old. If you compare her to, I don't know if I have one open, if you compare her to like the classic Sailor Moon, where, let me see if I can find it quickly. I probably should have done this before starting recording, but whatever. If you look at her design in the original show, and I don't want to compare too much to the original show because it's not really a case of, oh, the original show did it so much better. It's just, it's a good comparison. So when she first shows up, she's supposed to be 6 years old. She's very small. She's got very, very childlike proportions. This changes throughout the show as we go along. She's supposed to be 6 years old. She's supposed to be really small, and she has very childish features. I like using this one as well. As you can see, she's very childlike. She's very round faced. She isn't really like, they don't put like heavy makeup on her or anything like that, again because she's 6 years old. It would look weird. In season one they absolutely did not do this at all. They gave her like the very weird square eyes. It's bad. See, here you can see it. This is like the worst one. It's the one everybody uses for an example, but like this is her first appearance. This is the first time we see her. She's got lipstick. She's got the weird, like, really angular eyes, which does not work for any child design at all. It just looks, it looks bad in this picture, but even if this was drawn a little better, it would still be bad for a child that's supposed to be 6, or the equivalent of. There's lore involved. It's long story, not that important to what I'm talking about. But even if you look at just the way her body proportions are drawn in the first season, it's just bad. Like, again, this is supposed to be a 6-year-old child, and you can see there's Mamoru behind her, and I think I showed this to a friend of mine on Discord, and she described it as you've got an adult body and you've slapped a child's like proportionate head to it, and then you've given her angular eyes and lipstick. It's very bad. And the other problem with it is in, I don't know if this is going to be big enough to really show properly. The other thing is, again, the proportions. This is a trace, but we'll just use it because this is actually official art. Well, I guess just to make my argument better, maybe we should actually find the official art of the first season. Where is it? I saw it earlier. This is when she first transforms, so we'll use this, even though this one isn't as bad, but again, 6 years old. This one's okay. I think they traced this directly off the manga. That's why it's not as bad. Again, I should have done this before starting recording, but it's fine. Whatever. Here we go. So this is the 6-year-old body. This is the proportions. This is from the model sheet, so it's not as bad as it looks in show, but it's still really bad. Her legs are really, really long. And I hate how they do the feet. Like, they give them these little triangle feet that there's no definition here. It's not good. But yeah, so that was my problem with the season 1 design, which people were asking me what's wrong with verse 2. Here you can see it better. Like, look at her ankle. And yes, she's floating in this picture. I understand that she's not grounded properly in the picture, but again, just look at the size of this ankle here. It's smaller than her wrist. You know, it's just, and the skirt, I know it's really high in the what's her name? Tadano. It is really high in the Tadano drawing as well, but it's just, if you look at it here, it's ridiculous. It's not good. And again, it looks like they've just used like an adult body and tried to put a child's head on it, which also, if I think I made a comparison drawing a while ago, but I'm not going to try and find it now, just the proportion of her head compared to just the previous designs, but just in general the head shape is really bad. It's enormous. She's so top heavy in the season 1 design that it does not look like she can stand up. Like, it does not look like these tiny ankles and feet would be able to support this enormous giant head, even if you disregard the pigtails. It's just so big. And then the problem with the season 2 design, which is better, I will give it that, it is better, but it's got massive problems. Again, look at the size of these feet and these ankles. Like, it almost looks like it's in perspective. Like, it almost looks like you're looking up down at her, but you're not. This is supposed to be a head-on drawing of her, and I opened this one up here. Look at this. Look at this. This here. Look at the size. And compared to her head, again, this is not drawn in perspective. This is a head-on shot of her. They did improve her face very, very much so. It is leading more towards like the moe look. But I believe this is by one of the directors who does the Precure stuff. I heard that. And that makes sense because she does look more like a Precure character than a Sailor Moon character. But whatever. It's I can live with that. It's just like these proportions are so bad. Again, like you see how long her torso is, and then they're short compared to the torso, but they're not wide. Like, they don't look childish at all. And then you have these tiny, tiny little feet, which looks like she's going to topple over at any second. And I'm just going to go back here because you can see these here. I'm skipping over some of the ones where it looks okay. Like, I'm skipping over this one because these are fan drawings. I don't think this is, but this is a fan drawing, this is a fan drawing. That's why I'm not opening those to show off, really. But yeah, see, so they improved her face very much, but still, like, look at the size of her head in general compared to, like, the length of her arms. Here's a better one. And again, she's a little older here, but not by much. I think she's more or less 8 in the third season. Again, not by number, because it's weird. Sailor Moon is weird with Chibi Usa's age. But this is the same age she is in the later season. I think this is actually from season 4, which is only now coming out, the crystal version. And yeah, you can see she's got proper proportions. Her feet are... She's got heels on, a slight heel, but still, her feet are proportioned. Her legs are proportioned. She's wearing a bit of a boxy outfit here, but it's because this is more or less her school uniform, because she's in elementary school. And you can see it looks stable, and her head size, if you look at the head size here comparatively with the crystal, you see the size of the head here compared to like her shoulders and her arms. Even though she has big chunky sleeves, the arms are short, the arms look solid, her head looks solid, and then she has her legs. And then you go back to this design, and her head, like you can see here because she's in a pose here, but like you see her head size comparative with her shoulders, her arms, and again her legs. It's the legs that's the biggest problem, and like the lack of grounding here. It just looks bad. It's really, really bad. Yeah, and then you look at the Tadano redesign. Tadano actually did the designs for season 1 and 2 of the original show. Like these drawings that I'm comparing to, like this isn't Tadano because this is from season 4. But if you look at the Tadano drawings from season 2, which is where she is that 6-year-old body, you can immediately see the design is just so much stronger. This is the season that's coming out now. Yeah, so this is more or less Tadano's design, although this isn't her drawing. But you get what I mean. Like they've brought back the character designer from the first 2 Sailor Moon seasons from 1992 and 1993 to basically redesign the characters completely for the upcoming movie, which has been delayed due to the situations at the moment. They've actually asked her back to redesign the characters because Crystal wasn't doing so well. It wasn't very well received. It has its fans, but it's not very well received. And so they've asked Tadano to come back, and this is Tadano's drawing. And again, immediately the legs look, she's so much more stable. Like you can see her ankles are a proper width, her arms are a proper length, her head is still big as compared to the 90s version. I would still prefer if it was a little bit smaller, but you can see that she's toned down the pigtails as well, which really helps. Her torso doesn't have this like weird waist, the cinched waist. And even though the skirt is very short, it just looks better. Like you can tell more or less her one piece ends more or less there compared to the one piece ending here. And this skirt, I know we might think that a longer skirt might be better, but it's cutting off so much of her leg, which doesn't really help for the outfit and stuff. So I'm rambling, but that's basically it. These are like triangle shaped if you look at them, which means that she looks really top heavy and she's going to fall over any minute. Season 1 is just bad, like top to bottom. It's badly proportioned, the facial structure is bad, it's just not good. And then you have Tadano's drawing, and you can see she's much more like in a rectangle with her design, which means she's better balanced. She doesn't look like she's going to fall over any second. Her face is better. I don't mind this. Like I said, it's just not my kind of style. But they've leaned back more towards the original design, like the original art style of the 90s show. Which, I mean, they're doing that for nostalgia, but you know, it works. But my concern is about the proportions here and the grounding of the character. Even though she's on heels, it just looks like she'd be able to stand. Because imagine if you buy like a figurine of this design. It would need like 100% one of those like see-through things to impale into her back so that she'd just stand upright. Whereas this design, you can see more or less she wouldn't need as much support if she was a figurine, because she's more balanced. So that was my problem with it. Like I said, this one isn't too bad. It's just these proportions are so... ugh. And I know that's a pet peeve of mine, but it doesn't work. It does not work. It looks odd and strange. Maybe it's better for Precure. I haven't watched that many Precure shows. Precures tend to be a little older than Chibi Usa. They're about 13 though. So maybe that's why it works better in Precure. I've seen like the very young child characters in Precure, and they also don't look really good, but that's just my opinion, I suppose. But yeah, that's why I said that Tadano has really fixed the design. It's all about proportion, it's all about grounding, it's all about feeling like the character is physically standing on the ground, and she looks human, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't know if I opened it. They have like the other official art for the Eternal movie. I don't know if my OBS is set to my my desktop, otherwise I'd show you there. But yeah, it's looking much better. I didn't realize Tadano came back and did the designs before I saw it, so I actually was happy with the design fix before I learned that, oh, Tadano came back and fixed it. Yeah, see, this is season 2 when she first showed up, and look look at these legs, look at these ankles, just everything. Look at the everything. 6 years old in this season. But yeah, that's why I was saying thank you Tadano-san for coming and fixing this poor character, because she really needed it. Like the other sailors, they did okay in season 3, but just I don't know why they can't draw a younger character. This is okay, but it's probably because you can't see her legs. And the skirt's really bad though. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. But that's why I was saying, oh, they finally fixed Chibi Usa's design. And again, it doesn't really have to do with nostalgia. It doesn't really have to do with, oh, it's different, so I don't like it. No, it's to do with grounding. It's to do with proper proportions, especially for a child character. And it's to do with feeling like they're actually standing on the ground. And they're not like this weightless bobblehead when they're supposed to be present in the scene. So yeah, that's why I made that post, and I hope that helps explain. Look at this. I hope that explains like why I'm just happier with the upcoming design. It's a pity it's for like one of the seasons I don't really like. In the manga it's okay, and they say they're following the manga more for the storyline, so I'm hoping it's alright. I'm excited for it. Apparently it's been delayed until next year. I don't know if it's going to get a theatrical release. It won't get one here, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm hoping it's okay, and I'm hoping they fix the problems that they had, especially design wise. But yeah, so that was my problem, and I hope in my rambling I kind of explained what was bugging me so much.